and good enough to win, and we weren't in position to do that until late. So I thought the boys battled hard all night. Really physical game, and thought we played a full 60.
Can you put some words about the crowd reaction at the end of the game, and especially after your goal and the time goal?
Yeah, I mean, the crowd really kept us going there, especially in the third. We weren't, generating a lot of chances, but, the wave gets going, the guys get fired up, and, it really pushed us to the end there. So, it's so much fun playing here, and especially in games like this.
What has made you so successful in overtime this season?
In overtime? I don't know. I mean, I think we have good strategies for, overtime, and get to play with a lot of great players that make good plays. So, it was interesting when I think I banked it off his skate. So, we got a lot of talent out there, and it seems like I've got more overtime goals this year, but just a product of us.
It was a challenge tonight, though, for the Panthers seemed to slow you down in transition. It was tough to get your rhythm going offensively,
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you play a team back-to-back like that. Everyone knows you, and you get to feel for what it's going to be like in the first game, and then, the second game is always pretty close. So I felt like that both ways.
Would you say that this is the biggest win you've had in the regular season here with people?
Nice goal for us.
What was your reaction as that puck got to Suzuki?
I mean, he's the poise he has to just settle the puck down and put it in. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, I was just pretty shocked. It was cool.
I know that you probably don't care about it right now, but you finally beaten Chris Chelios' record for passing as a key defender in Montreal. Do you have any thought on that?
Nothing crazy. I mean, I guess it's cool, but I mean, we're in a pretty good playoff race, so first and foremost, that's what it's all about, and I feel like there's so much more to do.
When you hear the name Chelios, what do you think of?
I mean, he's a legend, right? Me growing up in Chicago, just hearing about him too. It's cool to hear for sure, but a lot of things have gone right, and it's just been a fun season.
Do you feel as though your game is getting only better as the season goes on? We're approaching to the end. Instead of slowing down, it seems as though you're picking things up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy when we're in a playoff race to be hungry to help the team in any way. So I feel like I'm learning a lot, and there's still so much to learn. So it's just been fun.
It's yet another come-from-behind win for you guys. What makes this team so successful at coming back and getting those points?
Yeah, I think there's just no panic with our guys ever. It's just we trust what we're doing, and we know we could always find a way if it gets down to it.
What kind of boost is this for the team, considering the third period that they had? Because it really kind of had you guys shut down.
Yeah, no, they played a great third period. Monty made some huge saves to keep it a one-goal game, so it's huge, and great teams find a way to win those games, and luckily we were on the right side of it.
Lane, on the tying goal there, was it an advantage for you that for a second it slipped away and it looked like it was going out and everybody was going upwards, and then when you threw it back, you caught them by surprise there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it couldn't have happened any better. I was pretty lucky to just that it was able to just stay in for me, and I was able to just throw it on net and trickle to Susie, and good finish.
I know you like to put points up on the board, but to be able to put them up in these types of games.
In a second, maybe we weren't putting enough puck deep, so we couldn't get our forecheck going and then have some heavy hold-on shift. But they did a great job defensively. But we stick with it. With 29 seconds, we had a face-off in our zone. Chance were on our side, but we we kept going, and we got the bounce there at the end and a huge tying goal there.
And what does it mean to finish the season, the sweep of the Stanley Cup champions?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously huge. It's not easy to beat the same team 4 times in the season, and obviously they're the reigning champions, and they're the team that built something special the last couple of years. They're always so hard to play against, so it's also a team that we look up to, and we want to play them, and it's always tight game against them, intense game, and happy that we got to win against them.
J'ai l'impression que vous n'aviez fait assez pour gagner. Je ne dirais pas que c'était justice rendue, mais les efforts étaient suffisants pour gagner ce match-là.
Oui, les efforts étaient bons. Je pense que c'était vraiment un gros match, et surtout en troisième. C'était très physique, très intense. Ça jouait les deux côtés. Puis eux autres, ils ont joué une bonne game défensive aussi. On n'a pas eu grand chance de marquer, mais on a stick with it, on a continué à travailler, puis on est capable de pull off at the end.
Est-ce que tu es impressionné par la capacité des gars à continuellement revenir de l'arrière pour aller chercher des points, particulièrement en deuxième moitié de saison?
Oui, c'est sûr, c'est impressionnant. En plus, on avait fait ça dans notre zone avec 28-29 secondes à faire. Donc, de pouvoir être capable non seulement de sortir de notre zone, mais aller de l'autre côté, créer une chance, puis marquer, c'est vraiment impressionnant. Puis, c'est peut-être ça qui nous manquait un peu avant, aller chercher le clutch goal demain qu'on avait besoin. Puis, Nick, il en a fait 2 ce soir, donc c'est vraiment spécial.
Le niveau de croyance en vous-même, sens-tu que c'est particulier, que ça atteint un niveau très, très élevé au sein du club?
Oui, c'est sûr que oui. Depuis le début, ici, on a un gros spécial. Les gars, on s'adore tous un et l'autre. On aime toujours se venir à l'aréna, travailler les uns pour les autres. Puis c'est sûr que ça l'aide. Puis on pousse dans la même direction, puis on y croit. Puis je pense que ça le démontre sur la glace. On a eu quelques ratés au début du voyage, puis quelques matchs avant, mais on était capable de le flipper. Puis c'est 2 grosses victoires qu'on est allé chercher.
Et Nick est quand même plus expressif que Dvorak, quelqu'un. Ce soir, il me semble qu'il y a eu 3 coachs.
Bulldogs, a couple chances. You just trust that, eventually you're going to get one to go in, and that's what happened with Suze. Obviously, special player steps up for us.
Thank you very much.
Time and time again, we've seen Suzuki step up in these moments, right? You talked about how he does the small things right, and it can lead to big moments like that. But outside of that, is he a player that just has that quality? And if so, through your perspective, what else?
This might be a weird comparison, but early on in my career, I played with Daniel Greer, and Danny was he always had a knack for scoring big goals at big times, and I think their personality is very similar. They're calm, but they're they just do the right thing over and over again. The moment's never too big for them. You can see they're very even keel. When they get the opportunity, they take advantage, and that's I just see so many similarities between the mannerisms between the two of them, and Danny had such a knack for just scoring big goals at big times, and Susie his whole career going back to junior, you hear about him coming up. He just scored big goals at big times. Our playoff run, he steps up. It's just who he is, and that you can always rely on him in those situations.
At this point, how?
Anything like it. Played with anyone, even any defenseman like that. It's I don't know. It's hard to put into words. This kid, he has no off switch. He works so hard. It's you guys see it, and coming in on days off and get on the ice. It's fun to watch. Not surprised in the slightest that he's doing what he's doing right now. So.
You guys complement each other quite well. What is the fit there?
I think we both skate well. I think, he kind of does his thing in the ozone, and I just try to be an option for him. And, obviously, want the puck. I want the puck and in spots. And but I mean, when the puck's on his stick, I just try to get open for him. Try to be there for him in the D zone. I try to get pucks for him. I think we just both complement each other's game well, and I think obviously with a guy like that, the things he does with the puck, you try to maybe defend first a little bit and kind of let him do his thing, and it's just what I'm trying to do, just trying to make it easy on him.
How about him? His name being mentioned, Chris Chelios breaking the Chelios record.
Yeah.
What does Chelios say to you?
Pretty good. I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
Kaiden, am I wrong saying that?
Ça, c'est du respect.
Salut Martin.
Bonsoir.
On a clairement vu très émotif quand vous avez gagné, mais sans parler des dieux du hockey, as-tu l'impression que vous aviez quand même mérité ce qui est arrivé à la fin?
Oui. Moi, j'ai aimé on a joué une game très calculée, super de bonne première période. Puis, Floride, ils ont joué ça très serré, je te dirais. Surtout en troisième, il n'y avait pas beaucoup d'espace. C'est une bonne équipe. Mais tu sais, un face-off dans ta zone, 30 secondes, il restait. Tu te prépares à que peut-être ça va être une défaite, même si tu as bien joué. T'sais. Puis c'est ça qu'on parle, tu contrôles ce que tu peux. Puis à soir, on a fait des très bonnes actions pour nous aider à gagner. Puis ça avait l'air que peut-être qu'on n'aurait pas gagné. Mais là, tout d'un coup, on gagne une rondelle dans notre zone, puis on transitionne très vite. Lane, il fait tout ce qu'il peut en dedans de la bleue pour garder possession, pour envoyer quelque chose à l'entour du net. on se fait récompenser. Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui nous aide en haut? Peut-être. Je suis sûr que ma mère elle m'aide là. Tu sais, puis aller finir ça en overtime. C'était une game, c'était une fin de match émotive, ça c'est sûr.
Vous balayez les champions en titre cette année. 4 victoires contre les Panthers, une équipe qui n'est pas réputée pour donner beaucoup de choses sur le plan défensif. Qu'est-ce que ça te dit? Tu parles souvent de processus. Là. Vous sortez victorieux d'une série de 4 matchs contre les Panthers.
Je pense que ça montre qu'on peut jouer contre n'importe qui. Mais ça prend notre si on veut vraiment aller chez du C dans cette ligue-là, il faut que tu aies une constance avec ton A-game. Il faut que tu aies une bonne B-game. Puis il n'y a rien qui est facile dans cette ligue-là. Puis c'est sûr, beaucoup de respect pour comment la Floride joue. Tout ce qu'ils ont fait les dernières années. Puis c'est ça qu'on court après ça, nous autres.
Martin, est-ce que c'est la plus grosse victoire que tu as vécue à date en tant que coach canadien, étant donné les circonstances, classement, tout ça?
Moi, je te dirais oui. Surtout comment ça s'est fait.
Martin, Luc t'a parlé des dieux du hockey. C'est Suzuki qui est le but réalisateur, c'est lui qui est le but gagnant. C'est ton capitaine. À quel point il inspire tout le monde?
Il lead. Moi, je trouve qu'il joue un excellent match ce soir. Il a fait des choses spectaculaires sur la glace. Il était en contrôle beaucoup. Il était la différence.
Coach Martin, we look time and time again, Nick Suzuki finds a way to step up and have the answer for this team. From your perspective, what are the qualities you think within him that allows him to be that player?
Well, he's got an elite computer. You know, his software is high-end, obviously, and he's got all the tools to do what his brain tells him to do. You know, so he's very connected that way, you know, and tonight I felt you saw that on many occasions. You know, I think he's a proud guy and he wants to lead this team, and he's doing that, you know, ever since the break. Like, not that he was even before the break, like Susie was fine, but I think he there's another level, and he's shown us that.
Down 2-1 in the third period, they were super aggressive on you guys. The fact that you didn't see your team try to make some hope plays, especially late in that period, how much does that contribute to being able to, I know it's a bit of a lucky bounce, but
Yeah. You know, Monty did have to make, you know, definitely one big save for sure, maybe more in the third. I felt that they were aggressive, but they always had numbers back. So, you know, where I feel sometimes their aggressivity sometimes will give them lack of numbers back. But I felt they were very calculated and when to be aggressive and reload, and so it was hard to generate any numerical advantage and stuff, and we did, but we didn't finish, didn't capitalize. I felt they defended really well in their zone, but I felt we weren't risking. We weren't chasing it. We stayed kind of calculated. You know, we had opportunity that we're going to create opportunities. You know, but we just cannot give up something the other way, because then game's probably over against that team at that point in time. So I was happy with our patience.
I think everyone would look at that tying goal as a lucky bounce. When you mentioned Nick's computer and his software, the fact that he's there, and like he kind of looked at all the possibilities of what could happen from that point in the, like, is there anything to the fact that he happens to be there to create that lucky bounce just because he just knows where to go?
Yeah, and to me, what I'm most impressed with that goal is, I think those guys had been on the ice for, I don't know, a couple minutes maybe. You know, and I can't even take a timeout because it's an icing. And, you know, you're 200 foot from the opposing net, 30 seconds left. I didn't tell him to change. I didn't tell them anything. I just let them figure it out. I don't think I don't think you have time to change and get organized. And I feel they found a way to dig, win a battle in the corner, and to really empty the tank. And then Suzy goes 200 feet to the back post and trying to make a read based on what he sees, and he's going towards the net, but he has a presence of mind to kind of hide off the back post a little bit and let the play come to him, and it did. That was a great bounce, but, there was somebody on the other side of that bounce in the right spot, and I was happy it was him.
Marty, your veteran line, the Dvorak line, I know you have your concepts for the game and you're teaching young guys the concepts and that. With the three veterans, have you sort of let them play their game within your concepts, if you know what I mean? There's sort of more north-south game that...
Yeah, I mean,
It's harder to teach a dog new tricks type of thing? You sort of let
I know. Yeah, but I feel like, Andy is elite at pushing the pace, and he forces pucks to go north, So I think when we have that kind of pace inside our concepts, we want to gain territory, and that's what they do. They play more a territorial game than some of our other lines, but, that's part of our concepts too. And I think they're playing to their strength. They're playing well together. I feel they're very balanced up the ice and in the O-zone. And because of that, they're able to when we do start our O-zone, they're able to spend time in there and have continuity throughout that O-zone rep. And obviously tonight, it's textbook, the way we want to play. You got a guy in front of the net, get a shot through, you get a good tip. So, that line's been excellent for us. Okay.